only been doing this about 6 years, really. I quit my full-time job and became a full-time illustrator in around about 2015. And that's when my first book, The Bear and the Piano, came out. And the independent bookshop people and Books in My Bag have been hugely supportive ever since then. And I really, really, really hugely appreciate everything that they do for each of the books that come out. And it was fantastic. I mean, it's always, every year is fantastic. Obviously this year and last year has been a little bit unusual, and we haven't been able to visit so many independent bookshops during this week and during the build up to the awards and everything. But yeah, that was one of my favorite things, just sort of traveling around, visiting all these really cool and lovely, amazing bookshops for the people that work there, and for obviously to be surrounded by all those books. The Bear, the Piano, and Little Bear's Concerts, which is the sequel to The Bear and the Piano, or it's the third in the trilogy of The Bear and the Piano, the final book in the Bear and the Piano series. And it's so good that, you know, the Independent Bookshop Award and Books in My Bag kind of really championed the first book, and now they're really getting behind this book. I am technically also nominated for this book, Rain Before Rainbows, as I'm the illustrator of this book, written by Smriti Halls. So I can't believe it, really, that I've got two amazing books on this fantastic list. Lockdown was it was a great reset for me. I mean, it's a horrible thing to think about, you know, everything that was going on in the world or is going on in the world. But I don't know, as an illustrator, I'm kind of used to sort of sitting on my own for long periods of time, kind of just focused on my work. So not a great deal of that changed, to be honest. It wasn't until halfway through, you know, last year where I thought, you know, I don't think I need to keep feeling guilty, that I can carry on. It's always been a struggle to kind of like, how do you make, you know, there's thousands of people doing what you're doing or want to do what you're doing. How do you kind of make your work or your event or the fact that you're publishing a book in a couple of weeks or in a couple of days, how do you make that stand out from all the noise? And I mean, there's no real answer, really. It's just like, you just have to keep trying, and you have to keep kind of pushing what you're doing. And there's a great quote that I always go back to, and it's kind of annoying but also quite kind of, you know, relevant, I think, and it's by Steve Martin, the fantastic comedian and Hollywood movie star and stuff. And he gets asked that question a lot, you know, how do you kind of make, when you were starting, because obviously everyone knows Steve Martin and everyone listens to Steve Martin, but when you were starting out, how did you make yourself kind of stand out and stuff? And he said, you've just got to be, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like, you've just got to be so good that people can't ignore you anymore. You just have to kind of work at your craft. Share it, because someone out there is going to love it, even if you don't. You know, you're obviously your worst critic of your own work, but something that you do might kind of resonate with someone else. And also on a kind of more practical level, and this kind of goes for being an illustrator and an author, is try and find an agent. Search for an agent. That should be the first kind of stop on your kind of career goal.